what is happening with the Nets? I cannot believe, Stugotz, that what we all imagined we would have signed up for a couple of years ago has not only turned into last in season ticket sales in the entire league, but it is a short-circuited disaster that has an assortment of calamities that are super strange, where the owner is coming out and condemning correctly that Kyrie Irving is out here promoting, even though he doesn't like the verb, a book and movie that has anti-Semitic content. And then when he's asked about it in a press conference, and they just wouldn't make him available to the press yesterday after you had courtside several young people wearing shirts that were saying stop anti-Semitism.
And yarmulkes.
And yarmulkes.
For the fellas.
They would not have allowed Kyrie Irving yesterday to speak. They just didn't allow media access after this exchange a couple of days ago.
Kyrie, while we're on the topic of promotion, why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I was just there to post. And it's actually hilarious because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
Wow.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me me in front of
putting it out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I
promoting.
put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but
okay.
It's not
you put
stuff,
things out there for a living, right?
Right, but my stuff is
Great.
not
So let's move on.
filled
let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
another
You're
human
free
being.
to post
I can post whatever I want, so say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that by
I don't have to understand anything from you.
But it's not me.
Nothing.
By
It's no
posting
people that
what
you're
you
making
did,
up, bro. Move on.
But by posting
Move
what
on.
you
Next
did,
question.
Anybody
Do
is
you guys have
gonna
any
look
more
at
questions
it,
for
and
me?
they're going to say,
You guys have any more
does he have
questions? Because this is going to be a clip.
beliefs?
This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
Oh, this is another answering your question. Oh my God, let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
Wow. I mean, good for the reporter to keep pressing him on that. A bunch of bullshit from Kyrie. Good for the Nets owner to vilify what Kyrie said in the strongest possible terms. It's anti-Semitic what he did to retweet a movie and a book that are clearly anti-Semitic. And the problem is when somebody as prominent as Kyrie does that, it enables all of the anti-Semites out there who are hiding in the shadows to step forward. We saw another anti-Semitic incident in Jacksonville at the Georgia-Florida game. And these things must have to be condemned in the strongest possible terms. Everybody's got to, Kyrie Irving needs to apologize. And it was the opposite of what we just heard from him.
He doubled down, Greg. He's not going to apologize.
I know it, but at some point, the NBA and the Brooklyn Nets, I don't know what you do with Kyrie Irving. I don't. I mean, he's a superstar who keeps getting himself in trouble. I don't know what to do with him.
Why does Kyrie feel like he's not promoting when he says he's simply sending out links? He is sending out links that are promoting awful things to a lot of people. Like, Dan, I can't stand that he stands on the fringes of these serious topics and acts like he's smarter than everyone else without actually addressing the questions that are being asked of him and addressing what it is he's doing on social media. That bothers me about Kyrie Irving. You sent a link out on your social media platform, which a lot of people follow, that, by extension, is promoting something. That's what he's doing. And he's always kind of, on the fringes of really serious topics that we shouldn't be joking around with.
And he's referencing something connected to Alex Jones, of all people. It's just absurd.
Well, that was from a couple of weeks ago. They continue to have things with the Nets, I'm imagining, that they couldn't have expected. Nick Friedel from ESPN, or Friedel,
that's fine.
I fixed it before you did.
He did.
Faster than even you're fine somehow, because I've gotten to have, it's survival of the fittest. I have to get sharper.
It's actually a false fine by Amin. It's
making
$2
it
to
better.
him. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, earlier in the show, I heard somebody's phone go off. I'm just saying.
That was Greg
It was
Covey.
mine.
$5. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any loot with me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
pay
He
up.
knows
Pay up
too.
even more.
Regardless, I would suppose that before that became more and more contentious, that Kyrie Irving would make some sort of semantics distinction on promotion, the way that he promotes Uncle Drew versus sending stuff out on his platform. It's a silly semantics discussion.
If I may, though,
Or
let me-
anti-semantics.
That's a good joke. There's one clip in there where he tries to say that he's not promoting, but then he circles back around and endorses what Alex Jones says here, because he says, "Oh, it's right, by the way," casually, and then he goes against like the media is against me.
My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything.
Huh?
So there's every time he talks, there's another thing that you can pick apart, right? So you start with that sound right there, and let's just assume he's right. There are secret societies and occults that are running America, right? But you got to find a better source than Alex Jones. Like that seems like a bare minimum level of threshold of due diligence by him. Like, okay, you believe this? You think you've you think you've watched the YouTube video that explains it all? You got to find one where Alex Jones is not the source. So to go through,
Cite the skulls from the movie.
From the movie.
You're
The
like,
movie The
just
Skulls.
cite anybody else.
well,
Maybe not anybody else, considering who they are citing,
Yeah.
but there are better, more credible options out there.
the part where he says, "Oh, I post a lot of things, but no one ever talks about that." It reminded me of the conversation I had last time we were here was about Draymond Green about, I'm a good teammate. You never see those videos, but when I assault someone, all of a sudden, everyone wants to talk like, yeah, when you do something incredibly dumb and out of bounds, yes, people will seize on that. And it's not because of the big bad media. You're doing it. In the case of Kyrie Irving, you're the one that's putting that stuff out there. And that's what you guys talked about, the semantics of promotion, where we know I'd never heard of this book or this movie. Now I do because of you, Kyrie Irving. So if that's not promotion, what is it then?
And he took exception to us seizing on that, because I put a lot of things, and it's funny that's the only thing that stuck out and was a conversation piece. It's like anytime Kyrie posts anything on social media, he'll flood you with stuff, and any one of them would be like the most strange or peculiar posts of any other athlete going right now. But it's kind of like whenever Kyrie posts, it's like our expectations were low, but holy shit, man. And he once again surpasses a very low bar that we've set for him.
So the other thing he says there, he tells Nick, "Don't dehumanize me," which is ironic because the content that he put out is dehumanizing whole swaths of people, but he feels dehumanized because Nick is asking him about why he would post such things. That's dehumanizing. I don't know what angle that is. But the other interesting thing is this movie, this book, it is anti-Semitic. It's also Islamophobic and very anti-East Africans. And there's a lot of people getting strays here. That was the one part I'm like, well, why? I know that's bad. There's other bad things and other people who are being hurt by this language. Why aren't we focusing on that? And finally, I do agree with one thing, because it's funny how many people are saying Nick Friedel just wanted to be a hero, and why is this guy pushing so hard? I'm like, that's his job. He's a journalist. That's his job, to ask questions, right? But I do agree with one comeback I guess people have told me is, why is anyone mad at Amazon for hosting this? Why am I able to access this content on Amazon? And I haven't seen that anywhere in any sort of professional or journalistic appraisal of the situation. I'm not letting Kyrie off the hook here, but It's kind of funny that nobody said shit about Amazon. Hey, by the way, why are you hosting this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not sort of a choice that they made where it's sort of exclusive to Prime Video subscribers, but it's sort of like a straight to video you can buy it from any platform. But I checked last night, Amazon is the only platform on which you can watch this.
And it's not that, like, again, it's not that it's a Prime exclusive. It's like, but even if it is, it's available wherever you get videos. Like, why are the places that are selling these videos selling it?
It also goes against one of the big conspiracy theories about big tech and controlling media, that it's actually available on Prime.
Well, the other thing, by the way, and I need to address this part, because this is something that people on both sides of this have this weird obsession with. I find that people who don't work in our industry, in our business, which is sports journalism, ostensibly for us here, think that every reporter, particularly beat reporters, has this wet dream about going viral on Instagram. Listen to me now, listeners, people who are going to watch this clip because it might go viral. Oh, we don't give a fuck about that shit. We're here to do our jobs, which is cover the game, ask the questions, analyze what's happening, try to figure out what's next, move the story forward. Nick Friedell, and I'm not just saying this because I know him and he's my friend, he doesn't care about going viral. But to people like Kyrie and people who follow Kyrie, they think the world is like that. And I get why Kyrie would think that.
I do understand
Right?
why a lot of athletes today would have a persecution complex about that, feeling like everyone is trying to traffic off of them for some sort of fame. I understand why they look down at reporters and see, and that part of it seems worse than it's ever been. The disdain
hold on
that
a
they
second.
have.
But he's tweeting out the links, and so a reporter shouldn't ask him
Well,
about
no,
what it
I'm
is
not,
he's
I'm,
tweeting.
I'm not defending it.
Yeah.
I'm simply telling you that I understand how Kyrie Irving arrives in a place where he feels victimized and persecuted, and you see and hear that victimization and persecution in everything that he's saying. I'm not saying he's right to feel that way. I just understand how he
Stugotz,
arrives there.
What I'm talking about is absent what he tweeted, right? If Kyrie took a bad shot and Nick was asking him questions and kept trying to figure out, why'd you take that shot? Kyrie would have, oh, you're trying to go viral. Oh, I want to answer. His reaction in that moment has nothing to do with what he tweeted. It has to do with, I'm being asked a question that I don't feel comfortable because it is attacking me in a very vulnerable place where I may know internally I really messed up, or this looks bad and this guy is not giving me a break. And so I talked to Nick, by the way, about that interaction. And I said, does Kyrie know who you are? Right? Because sometimes they just see everyone is just some random guy with a microphone. I don't know if he's from, goviral.com or whatever bullshit website. And Nick says, yeah, he knows exactly who I am because last year we had a very rocky relationship stemming from my questions to him about vaccination. And so Kyrie knows who this guy is and knows what he does for a living. So there's a part of this where he's reacting to Nick Friedell, not reacting to people going viral or whatever. And then there's a part of this where, Dan, where you're saying, I understand why athletes feel that way. It goes back to our eternal conversation of they look at Skip Bayless and they look at a Nick Friedell, like, same thing. Oh, this guy was on the show. Like, no, this guy is covering the team. He's here every day. He's asking questions. He has sources. You see him at games. You see him on the road. You see him at practices and shoot-arounds. Skip Bayless is in a studio in L.A. shooting the shit, trying to get ratings. It's not the same. And the problem there is Kyrie's not the only one who believes that. And it's not just the athletes who believe that. By and large, I see it all the time in comments and stuff like that. People who are consuming the sport, consuming this content, truly do not distinguish at all, not at all, not one iota, that there is a difference between the talking heads on television programs that are done by the way, generalists. It always blows people's minds. I said, oh, but so-and-so said this. I said, you think that this person can be tapped in, informed, and on point with everything in basketball, and then seamlessly in football, and then seamlessly in college football, and then seamlessly in baseball. You don't think that's odd that these people aren't devoting all their time to one thing? People don't know. They just see people on TV. Oh, it's media. Oh. And
the
that
last 10
ignorance.
years, I'm telling you, the last 10 years, it's not just that they don't know what the media does. It's that there is an active disdain for just media wherever it exists, all over the place. So, of course, it soaks into athletes. And that team, the thing that's just crazy to me about that team is I feel like everyone listening would have signed up for Kyrie and Kevin Durant and not seen any of this coming at the end of players getting power.